Hey, Cryptonauts, this is Jake Jabarelli of Jabarelli.com. Just a bunch of referral links. Welcome to the latest episode of Cryptocurrency Chat. Today, we'll be talking about Dynamocoin with Shaun Neal, the creator. We got a lot of topics, so how you doing today, Shaun?
How's it going? Well,
I'm glad to have you here. We have a lot of topics. A lot of things have been happening with Dynamo as of late. It's been making progress with leaps and bounds. It is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I can't even imagine how big it's going to get. But I really hope it goes to 200 minimum. um, we're going to be talking about pools, the exchanges we're on, the listing services that have just been approved, and any new members in the Dynamo server. So let's go into pools first, because I know I've been participating with that in particular, and I kind of want to talk about what Daskuch has been doing on that. I don't know if he's listening, but I just hope his ears are burning, because he's been owning the pools as of late.
yeah. I developed, I developed the first pool just again as a proof of concept. We started to have just so many miners out there that that solo mining became too difficult for some of the smaller people, which was again really the antithesis of what I wanted this to be. I want this to be something that everyone can participate in, even if it's at a small level. I don't want people to be to be locked out. So I decided to go ahead and write a pool. That wasn't on the plan anywhere, but I felt like again, I think just in general, a lot of my plan was to foster the mining community in the beginning because that gives you that not only a base of technical people but a base of people who are going to create liquidity for the rest of the investment community once you start to get a name, and it gives you a great social base of people who are self-interested and incentivized to say, hey, this thing is a great thing, because they're holding a whole bunch of coins, and the more that they say this is a great thing, the more other people will come and give us give us money. So that was part of my plan, was to really cater to the mining community. So I had to put together a pool. I did something quick and dirty. um, there was a bunch of issues with it. It was the first time I had ever written a mining pool, obviously. And so a couple of days ago, I just made a bunch of refinements to it. The main one being the ability to put coins on the side, so to speak, so that if you don't have a minimum, we have a minimum payout. Because what was happening was, for some people who had a very low hash rate, they weren't getting enough of a percentage of the pool to even cover the transaction fee, which right now it stands at 1,000 atoms, or 0.00001 dynamo. And so that transaction was failing, and it was just failing and not paying them at all. So um, so I had to create a whole system of queuing payments, this minimum payment due, and then I just had a sort of user interface, quality of life enhancements. Like, all the settings were hard coded in the code, so I put them all into a JSON file, and I fixed a couple of bugs and everything else. So that's the version 2 that's been running, I think, since Sunday or Saturday, or whenever I put it out there.
Yep. Yeah, no, I've been participating and keeping an eye on the chat channel to see what everybody's participating and what they're saying about it. It's really great to see it. And we had pool 2 go up and pool 1, but I'm pretty sure M had said he was going to use your code and build his own. I hope other people are building their own just out of your code, so we can get more pool competition. We can't want just one
Absolutely.
person owning the one
I
pool.
I don't
Oh,
even, honestly, I don't even really want to be running the pool, because,
yeah.
I feel a little bit bad about taking a percentage of what people are mining. The purpose of the foundation is not to make money off of the community.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully some people will start running their own pools. I'm available if anybody wants to, sit on me with I'll do a screen share or a DM or whatever for 2 hours, or as long as it takes, to help anybody get and run a pool running. Happy to do that.
Yeah, that would actually be a really good thing. I'm pretty sure Emma had even commented that he was hoping we could get in a not necessarily a DM, but like a chat, kind of almost like a mock podcast where we're just talking about it. This is how you do it, and that way everybody can learn. It's kind
Mhm.
of what's a training exercise in a sense, which is recorded, so that we
Yeah.
can all learn how to make our own pools to put
I
up.
need I need to make like a YouTube explainer video, but the problem is it's gonna take 2 or 3 hours, and I really want to focus on programming the NFTs right now. We're just really focused on getting the NFTs done. So yeah, I don't know. I'm torn between making the video and then having to support it versus just getting on with a couple people and like letting them stand
Oh
up.
no, no problem at all. In fact, like, if you do it with
Mm.
me, I'll support it.
Yeah.
Because this is
Okay.
actually what my channel does. My
Perfect.
Jake Jabarelli's Just About Referrals. I'm not trying to plug myself here, but here we go. It's all about helping people understand. I've done a lot of things with Docker and
Mm.
with Linux in general to try to teach other people how to do things that are not tech savvy at the level that I think they would be. And I've supported a thing that was called Open Smartphone Test Farm for a long time, which I did not create, but
Hmm.
because it was complicated to set up, I made a dumbed down version of a tutorial for people to do. And I
Mm.
love doing that. So if you want to train me, I'll train everyone else for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That'd be totally cool. Yep.
So, but the pools are going. I'm really happy about that because that's going to make more progress and expand Dynamo. We've been on Safe Trade. How long have we been on Safe Trade now for an exchange?
I don't know, 7 or 8 days, something like that.
Yeah, basically about a week.
Yep.
But the other one that we were doing was the wrapped WBNB. That was from the start, right? That's what, a
Hmm.
month and a half now since
Yeah.
the coin pretty much started.
Yep. Although we
And
basically shut that down. So that was just a test, just to
okay,
to sort of gauge some investor sentiment and figure out a price floor, really, more than anything else.
okay,
Because I like my vision was like it shouldn't be less than 10 cents. That was kind of my overall feeling. And of course it went to, I don't know, $7 or $8.
exactly. It actually peaked out at almost 10.
That was a little
When it
that was a
bounced up
little
there, I'm like,
crazy.
whoa, that's a little high. Yeah.
That was a little crazy, but we're settling back into a range of $1 to $3 or something like that, which I think is great. I mean, it's way more than the 10 cents I thought it was. So yeah, that BEP 20, we have shut down. I think almost 95% of those coins have all been exchanged for mainnet coins at this point. Um,
Okay.
so, yep.
Cool. All right. Well, you can't. I recall you saying in the earliest podcast that you can't talk about which exchange you're actually going to be getting on. You can say which ones you apply to, but you can't say which ones are in
Hmm.
negotiations with, because you don't want this rush on like insider trading, effectively. Um, at least that's my interpretation of it.
Yeah.
So let's just say, how close are we to any larger exchange?
So
Anything?
we're gonna. I mean, I'm gonna be open. We're gonna focus on the top 10 at this point, right? So
Okay.
so there's a whole bunch of other exchanges that came out of the woodwork saying that they would give us listings for some exorbitant amounts of money, 30 to 50 thousand dollars. The first one I thought was really cool. It was Hotbit. But then you start to dig deeper and you're like, oh wait a minute, like all this volume is faked. It's they don't really. It's all bot trading, right? There's
Yep.
no liquidity there. There's no volume.
Yep.
So we're just going to focus on the top 10. If you go to CoinMarketCap, look at the list of exchanges, top 10. That's what we're looking at. So those guys we're all going to just hit.
Yeah. So you can go to CoinGecko and pretty much look at the top 10.
CoinGecko, same thing. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I
Yep.
mean, there is a listing. I actually have a listing on CoinGecko for the top 10. So that's where, if anybody wants to check it out, go to CoinGecko and look at their top 10 listings for exchanges. But yeah, so let's move on, since that's a great segue to CoinGecko itself. And now we're actually saying that if you go to CoinGecko right now, you can actually see Dynamocoin on the listing, right?
Yes. Yes. Something's
Okay.
not right with the market cap. I don't know. I had to create a custom API. That was the other thing I had to do. I spent a lot of time creating the Wallet Explorer, which I would encourage anybody who's interested in understanding how like UTXO aggregation works. This thing basically decodes all of the blockchain block by block, and then aggregates all the UTXOs into wallets to create like a list of wallet balances. It's all in C# code, so it's pretty easy to understand. But yeah, I think if anybody's interested in the nuts and bolts of that, all the code's up there on GitHub. I posted it all, the Wallet Explorer. I had to spend a lot of time. Oh my gosh, they're doing a lot of fireworks all of a sudden.
Oh, was it fireworks? I thought there was thunder in the background. Oh my goodness.
No, I don't know how today got to be fireworks. There's a country club right next door. I think they do something for the members. So I had to spend a lot of time building that Wallet Explorer to support the CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko applications. Might be some problem with the API or something. I emailed them this morning. So the only thing that's not working there is the market cap. That's everything else is good though.
I have noticed that. So depending upon the coin's utilization, like you said, there's not a whole lot of people trading a coin. What are we at? 200,000 yet on Dynamo? Haven't looked.
210,000 coins, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when you don't have a lot of trade going on, even if there are a couple of coins available, everyone's just like hodl, hodl. So it's like, oh, there's not much to trade because nobody wants to give it up.
Yeah.
But the exchanges, I know some of the lesser known coins, particularly stuff I was using on South Exchange and on Hotbit, were just not showing up. I was like, okay, I have maybe a couple million of these, crappy coins, but they're not showing up at any value, even though I know I can see it. Like I think it's, was it Coin Paprika? That's another listing service.
Yeah.
And they actually showed it. Or whatever the coin was I was looking at. And I was like, Coin Paprika. Does anybody even look at Coin Paprika?
Right.
But they had it, and I think I have a couple of the lesser known exchanges. Like I used, I think, alt markets for a long time because there were some coins you just couldn't get them anywhere on even Hotbit wouldn't host them.
Wow.
And I finally traded away all the coin I had, and Coin Paprika actually showed it, and I was like, "Wow, I affected that market by trading all those coins away."
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't really see it on CoinGecko all the time.
I was looking today just at the depth of market at the coin, and I try not to sit there and like hit refresh every 15 seconds, right? Because I need to be focused, right? But I was just looking at the depth of market this afternoon, and literally like $1,600 US would triple the price of the coin. Like if I bought $1,600 in coins, it would go from $2 to $6 or $5 something. So the depth of market just isn't there yet. We don't have enough people buying or selling. Of course, that's going to change. That's going to change.
It's changing as we speak, which is the amazing thing. That's the thing that's so great about it. Actually, you're right. Someone out there some whale out there is going to jump into the market and try to steal all the coins that are currently on the market, just to drive the price up because he or she wants it to become more valuable.
Yep.
And then everyone's going to like, oh, someone's buying. Okay, I'll sell.
Yep. Well, I think, and again, that's part of my master plan was get the mining community engaged up front, because those are guys that need to cover operational expenses, and they're going to be sellers, right? Stakers don't sell, like they're holding coins to get more, right? It's almost like a Ponzi scheme. Miners, they gotta pay electricity, and they gotta cover the cost of capital and rent if you have a warehouse and whatever else, right? So it's a great ecosystem. So that's why I focused on that front. But yeah, there's not a lot of liquidity right now. We're gonna
didn't want to try to drive it that direction, but having been that's actually, John just made a good point to me about staking, since we're talking about it in lieu of mining.
Sure.
I know we talked about this in the very, very beginning, the first podcast, how you said that Dynamo is a staking / working or proof of stake, proof of work coin.
Yep.
And I know I think the point was, if I'm not wrong, to make the 51% attack concept nigh to impossible. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so you said if you have half, or maybe not half, but a portion proof of stake and a portion proof of work, then even if a person were to be able to get to what would be equivalent of a 51% attack, it would so completely obliterate the value, it would be absolutely pointless. And I know that's still true even in a 51% attack to some degree, but it's even more true or more accurate in Dynamo, because I think you said it was like 86% or 80 something percent. Where
you need theoretically you need about 80 something percent of the hash power. So why would you do something to that coin just to destroy the value? Like it's just there's going to be this massive negative headline that it was attacked, and then the coin's going to go to nothing because nobody's going to want it. So why would you do that to your own investment? So yeah, that's the theory.
Exactly. No, I mean, has it been proven perfectly? And I think that's the problem that his name's Michael Carter. It's the guy who does Bitsby Trippin. I don't know if you know who he is.
Oh yeah, sure.
He was talking about this when he made his proposal on EIP for Ethereum.
Yeah.
For the slow decline of the value that was given to miners instead of the fast decline that was proposed in EIP 1559.
Yeah.
Was if we lost a lot of miners simultaneously, which was the expectation, some people just aren't going to leave. But if you lose a ton of people simultaneously that go over to something like Dynamo or go something like Raven, then you're going to have that crash in value. I mean, ETH probably won't crash in value, even a lot of miners left it, even if it went before proof of stake happened.
Right.
But there's still that concern that if that happened and somebody could pick up 51%, and would that drop the price enough so that they could do the double spend?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. It's hard to say. ETH is too. It almost seems like ETH is too big to have that happen. I hate to
Too
say
big.
call it
Yeah.
too big to fail, but
Yeah. Too big. Yeah.
But it might just be a little bit too big for any one group of people in the entire world to really, overrun it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Dynamo is a little bit small at this point, and that might be possible. But if it isn't worth a lot, then why bother?
Right.
Anyway,
Nobody's gonna 51% us. They could for sure, but nobody's
yeah,
gonna 51% us right now. Yeah.
exactly. There's no real reason to do it, even though there's plenty of coins out there that people are definitely own. I was mining a coin not that long ago that I think China owned 86% of in the mining.
Oh, jeez.
and it was like, okay, but I don't think they have any intention of double spending because it's not one pool owning it all. It's just a bunch of people in China owning most of the operations.
Right.
They'd have to work together in order to make it, 51% tech. Anyways, the point I'm trying to get at with proof of stake is it's a balancing act. And I guess I haven't asked, but how much is proof of stake in Dynamocoin? How much of it is proof of stake, or do we even know yet?
No, nothing yet, right? I want to get a whole bunch of wallets before we do that, because like right now, I don't know, we have 600 or 700 wallets, so the chance for centralization is huge, right? So my thought was after about 6 months, which would give us about something like 1 million coins in circulation, then we'd move to the hybrid proof of work, proof of stake. The other thing that proof of stake does that I think is really interesting is it creates economic tension between sellers and holders, because now you have people that want to keep coins because they're getting a return on their investment, basically, right? If I put 100 coins away, I'm going to get 6% or however the economics work out, return. So you have miners that want to sell and stakers that want to buy, and it creates a much more holistic ecosystem, I think, to have both stakers and miners on the security. So that's the other reason I want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely. I'm almost thinking about when Uniswap started, and they dropped those huge airdrops right off the bat, and people immediately sold. Boom! It all just disappeared, and the price dropped from, I think it started out at like $4 or $8 somewhere in there, down to like $2.50 somewhere in there. But where is Uniswap now?
Yep.
Quite a bit higher than that.
Yeah.
And so for those people who are planning on holding on forever, it was a brilliant idea to just keep staking, That's a mantra. So another question here is Dyn looking at tethering to a stable coin, and if so, which one?
No, I don't think being backed by anything. First of all, I think stable coins are a complete scam. Just I mean, think about the premise of a stable coin. US, Tether, right? Yep. It is worth $1. Well, then what's the utility? Why would I buy a Tether to buy a Bitcoin? Why wouldn't I just buy a Bitcoin? There's there's just the only people who want to buy these stable coins are people who have a need to turn dollars into crypto to hide something. So I do not understand the utility of these things at all. But no, I mean there would be. Say again?
Yeah. That's a very good point. I was thinking about that because it's like when the market crashes, where does a coin go? It goes into stable coins, and then it
Yeah.
goes back into fiat, and it's because people are scared, the FOMO and all.
Mm-hmm.
But or the FUD, I guess, is the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're making a good point. It's like if you really truly believe in the purpose of Dynamo, which I certainly do, then why would I need a stablecoin?
Yeah.
But it's almost like from the standpoint of saying stablecoins exist because of people's fear.
Yeah. But but it-
So
but but it's unfound, it's unfounded safety because stable coins are not backed by dollars, right? They're backed.
well, it depends on which stablecoin you're talking about. From one, I think USDC on Coinbase is actually backed by
Oh,
dollars.
okay. Well, USDC maybe. Yeah. That's actually. But again, then why? Like, why would you prefer a crypto over an actual dollar? Like, what's I can't understand. I would never invest in a stable coin. I have no idea what the utility of that coin is. So I don't know.
Oh, there was. It honestly. I mean, I think Blockchain John might actually be able to put it. I know he has some. I don't have a lot personally, but
Yeah.
the one thing I've looked at is that you can earn pretty high interest because of the utility of a stablecoin. Stablecoins in particular, because they're constantly be trading to something that is flat on a regular basis, right?
Oh.
If you want a conscious idea of not the U.S. dollar necessarily, but something that just always stays flat, that stays stable per the name,
Yeah.
then it gives a person that sense of what the value of a thing is, because the
Yeah.
stablecoin won't change by much. It might go up, 3% at the most,
Right.
or maybe use it 0.3%. It doesn't go up very much because it has
Right.
to
Right.
stay
Right.
stable, obviously. But I think how do I put this exactly? It's it's a catering to, and I still believe it's people's fear, but it's a
Yeah.
catering to the ideal that people understand. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how many times you say, well, I know Mike will say this from our, from podcasts here. He's like, he'll talk about things in the value of satoshis and not in the value of dollars.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's this worth in satoshis? Well, satoshis change in value all the time by comparison to U.S. dollars because Bitcoin's never staying stable, even though it's more stable than most.
Right.
Um, but like so if you can think in satoshis, which anyone who's been doing crypto for a while certainly can,
Sure.
maybe the people could think in the value of Bitcoin, but nobody, in my honest opinion, thinks in the value of Bitcoin outside of U.S. dollars.
Right.
Do you just think Bitcoin by itself? You
Oh,
still
did
there?
I lose you? Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I was trying to get away from these fireworks, but it didn't work. I think they're doing the finale. Sorry about that.
Yeah. You and your dog are probably trying to do the same thing, right?
No, I think the dog outside.
Anyways, yeah. So the end goal being, or the end concept being,
Yeah.
do people think in terms of the value of Bitcoin as the de facto? No, most people don't. They still think in the
Right.
value of either their local currency or U.S. dollars.
It's still dollars. That's right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. It's hard to think in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we know we've had a lot of people joining the server as of late, the Dynamo server. In fact, even C3 Media has gotten a lot of new members, as we can see from our chat room here. Quite a few people involved. We got what,
Cool.
almost 10 people in here. Or is it 10 people? It is 10
Oh,
people.
there's the finale.
There's the finale. Okay.
See? Right.
Let's see here. I think I got another question coming in. Oh, people are interested in if you have anything you want to share, John. Anything you've been developing on Dynamo lately?
I'm full bore on NFTs. That's really and the ease of use, right? So we want to make NFTs super easy for anyone to be able to get into on Dynamo. So I think one of the things that I've been struggling with is creating true peer-to-peer marketplaces, right? So we're focusing on gig economy solutions and disintermediating, some of these companies that are sort of claiming to be peer-to-peer, but really profiting from being in between. And one of the things that I'm coming to realize, we've actually had several conversations on our steering committee meetings about the ride hailing, right? So that's one of the things that we're first focused on is how do we allow drivers and riders to meet on the blockchain in a decentralized way, and in a legal way too, right? Um, and one of the things I'm coming to realize, and actually Vincent and I had a very long conversation about this as well, is the need for a decentralized, I'll call it web server. I'm not sure if that's exactly the right term, but I need to be able to pull up something on my phone, probably in a browser, that says, I'm at 42nd and 7th, and I need to go to Park and 30th. Are there any cars in my area that can take me there? And so how do I do that in a consensus environment, right? That's the thing, because most of those things require a web server, and a web server is centralization because there's DNS and right all those other things, and lives on a server by definition. How can the blockchain be a web server? So that's one of the things that's sort of next in my queue of trying to figure out, is decentralizing a web server so that so we can have true peer-to-peer, no intermediary, no centralization services.
Isn't that something that's already done with what's it called, John? We're trying to build our own the C3 Media website on that kind of server. I cannot think of what it's called. It's the crypto domains that you can actually get a top level domain.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Unchained? Was it?
Unchained, is it? Is
I
that what
think
it's
it's
called?
Unchained or something like that. I forgot. I got to look it up real quick.
But,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I think the thing is what I've found so far is, yeah, you can host a lot of static content, right? Like you can put a homepage with images and whatever else, but as soon as you want somebody to create a profile or save a setting or interact with a session, right? As soon as I need to run PHP code in a distributed consensus fashion, I have not been able to find that. Maybe somebody's working on it already. That would be super cool. But I have not been able to find that. So that's what's sort of in my mind is how do we, if I want to do a decentralized ride hailing app, I got to be able to allow anybody to connect to the blockchain, any node, right? So if I pull it up on my phone, I'm talking to a server in Latvia. It doesn't really matter, right? And I can book that ride, and every other server already becomes aware of it, right? I don't know. Maybe that's available.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's something we've got a lot of people in here. Maybe these people can help us figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, unstoppable domains. Yeah, John finally found it. It was.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah, I
you're
think
right.
that's.
It is. Good.
Well, I was gonna say I think that's domain name service, right? Just static
Yes.
content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is static content, but you're right about the active content and in a decentralized manner is probably a new technology we have to develop.
I think you can do it if you web enable full nodes and you create a consensus mechanism so that somebody says, I need to access this page, and then that gets passed around the network and the consensus agrees that that page is that page. I think you can do it. You need a virtual machine for sure. I don't know. It's something I got to sleep on for another couple of weeks and figure out.
Oh no, it's a fascinating idea. I'm really interested in. Definitely not a developer, but it's the concept therein.
Yeah.
Might be really interesting to see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Have more active interactive node functionality that's kind of on the fly as needed and not centralized.
Yeah. Right. How do you log into nothing? Right. Like that's a pretty
Exactly.
cool. It's a
Exactly.
pretty cool concept. So that's what I've
Yeah.
been noodling around with, and so I have this little sketchbook, and I just draw pictures in it and try to noodle with stuff. So I got several pages on that already. So we'll see.
Only thing I can think of it. I was doing database development 10 years ago, and we were dumping about 1 million points of data per day into the database. And of
Mm,
course, by the time we got to any sizable amount of data on this, PHP, um, uh, PHP input, but it was MySQL. I think it was what's the other one? Postgres. We were using Postgres.
Mm-hmm.
And we were dumping just millions and millions of points of data, every day, and we reached something like 5 billion points of data, individual strings and all kinds of different types of data types. And the guy, the head of the project, was just like, okay, we need a bigger server. Like, well, you know what? This is what I think of when I think of IPFS. I think
Mm-hmm.
something like IPFS would allow this, but is there a processor equivalent? Something that's doing data processing, not just data storage,
Mm-hmm.
on the blockchain. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
there is.
That's kind of like World Computer, right? That's what those guys are trying to create. I think. I don't know with what level of success, but something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, John, you said you had a question, or is that someone else who has a question?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk on NFTs really quick, if you can give me a moment.
Sure.
So,
Go right
so
ahead.
I have an idea, Sean, and I was talking to some of the guys here in C3. So, I added a few bots in my server in C3 Media, and I noticed that people actually really like those bots. There's some of them that are really cool, and one of them actually allows you to rank up when you're being proactive in the community, in the server, starting conversations, asking questions, just staying active. And the idea behind that was just to try to keep the community more close, more bonded, instead of just having people just being a ghost, just being
Mm.
a phantom. That's the one thing I don't like about other communities where people just they just join the server, but they're not proactive. They're not active in the community. So I'm like, okay,
Mm.
let me try to think about this. Let me try to find something that's gonna try to help the community stay, more united, make them more active. So I got this bot on there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
as they continue with their conversations in the C3 Media server, they're earning tokens, participation tokens. They're earning a higher rank,
Ah.
which is pretty cool for the community because, I mean, who's number one? It's I think it was Pun, right? Pun's number one, and I think Davis is number two, and I think I'm number three right now. So they're proactive. And what the idea I pitched was, I can actually develop a market within Discord, right? So with those tokens that they're earning, they can actually purchase items from the Discord market. Once I open that up,
Mm.
right now it's locked. It's locked. I don't have it open, but there's going to be images which I already sketched up. Those images, if you purchase them with those C3 tokens, you can buy those images on the Discord market. Then you give those images back to me, which I will reissue back as an NFT created off of Dynamocoin, a
Mm.
real unique NFT. That's an awesome way to get the community, active, give them an
Yeah.
incentive to staying within the community. I think it's an amazing thing.
Gamify interactions. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I
Yep.
want, because the biggest thing that I don't like is just seeing all these people just they're part of the server, but they're not doing anything with the community. So
Right.
to see the community actually being proactive and enjoying it, and I actually added another bot, which is a game, and some of the community are so addicted to that game now that they're on it, like they're on it, they're crazy about that game. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
even though they're playing the game, they're still being proactive in the server. They're earning a higher rank. They're earning more coins. They're working, and those coins in turn buy those buy items off the market. Then in turn
Mm.
can receive unique assets off a Dynamocoin.
Mm-hmm.
That's something,
Mm-hmm.
Sean. You got to get the NFT created now, because
Yeah.
I know that this community is going to come out to me and start attacking me if they don't get the NFTs. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think gamifying really anything, because humans are creatures of efficiency, right? If you think about, and in particular with MMOs, right? I'm a big MMO guy. I actually, in my first MMO that I wrote, which was like 20 years ago, I hired this guy from Berkeley who was like a psychologist, and he was a psychologist on like addiction to games and how you make games addictive. And he said the one thing is you want people to um, feel like they're being efficient. The quickest way to do something. It's so funny. So yeah, so like people want to level up, right? Whatever that means, gain experience points, get the next the next item or the next more efficient, sword that has more damage or whatever, like all those kind of things. So yeah, gamifying anything is great. I love all those kinds of ideas.
It's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
Jake. I guess back to you.
Couldn't agree with you more on that one, Shaun. Gamify was actually one of the things that I did in one of the businesses I built. Didn't go anywhere, but gamification is honestly key to almost half the business that I've tried building. Getting
Yeah.
people to compete with each other and to level up just gives them purpose.
Yep. Yep. It's
It's exciting.
it's the psychology of how humans think, how people tick. We're competitive. We're competitive about efficiency.
Yes.
That was the whole output of this report that this guy wrote me, and it's so true. If you look at, you can look at Warcraft, you look at Skyrim, you can look at any one of these things. Why do we gain pleasure by sitting at the arcane crafting table, sacrificing daggers to upgrade our enchantment 37 times in a row? Because it's progress. We want to have progress towards efficiency. So yep, it's
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that. So
yeah.
Another question here. Let's see. Has there been more people added to work on the back end of Dynamo? Any new developers lately?
No, so I still have the two guys, Ed and Martin. And actually, part of what we had a long conversation with a couple of crypto attorneys, and we're actually, I think my partner Keith reached out to them today to schedule a callback. He's going on vacation next week for 10 days, going to the Maldives. Actually, I'm very
Oh
very
wow,
jealous.
that's
Yeah.
yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, he needs some time off, but yeah, he'll be back the third week of July, and at that point, I think we're gonna try to get some kind of retainer agreement with these guys. One of the things that they said was that we want to avoid centralization. So my company hiring all these developers and working on this thing is basically bad, right? Because that's all centralization, which leads you towards being a security, which then we can violate some securities laws and blah blah blah. I don't think we're there yet, but we really need to start getting some community involvement, and we need to start getting community involvement through incentivization, right? So we can offer bug bounties or other kinds of rewards, hopefully in currency, but we can also pay money for it. But again, that then that gets kind of like more to a contractor relationship. You have to be careful. Obviously, community involvement for free is the best, right? Kind of for everybody from a decentralization standpoint, but reality is people can't work for free, so we got to figure out some way around that. But yeah, we got to start beefing up the team because there's a lot of things on our plate. I am doing this full time, but there's only so many hours in the day, and I'm getting, and frankly, just like doing these, right? I'm getting pulled in a lot of directions now, to do a lot of this speaking and to build up the hours and to apply to the exchanges and all those other kind of things. So, yeah, we definitely need some help. So, I'd appeal to anybody that's out there. If you're a blockchain developer, definitely hit me up. We're looking for people for sure.
That's a good point. I was going to say that I watched some random YouTube video recently. I think it was major, like MSNBC or something, talking about uh, blockchain jobs. Some company out there was saying that pretty much anybody who's looking to hire a blockchain engineer or developer, and I was blown away by how much they were willing to offer. Was something they said that the minimum amount of money that they were looking to hire people at was $100,000 a year. And I said, typically it was somewhere between $200,000 and $250,000 a year. And I was like, whoa, I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah,
I can't believe people are willing to pay that much for a blockchain engineer.
I get hit up on Upwork for like a couple $100 an hour all the time. Like that's yeah. You
Yep.
you could do it. I would say more like 400,000 to 500,000 is probably what for somebody who knows how to build their own coin and understands the wallet and the encryption and stuff like that. Yeah, it's $500,000. So
yeah. So let's see. We got another question. Can the community create their own pool, or does Dynamo need a hard fork?
their
I
own
would
pool,
think
meaning
that
pool server.
that would be kind of weird. I don't know if I don't know what that question implies, since I
Yeah,
don't know
not quite
who asked
sure.
it, but
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
John, can you clarify? John, you still there? Or I don't know who asked the question. I'm not on the live stream, so.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, communities can, anyone in the community can start a mining pool. The source code is there. If you want to hit me up on Discord, I'm happy to walk anybody through it. Like you said, you and I will go through it, and you can make an explainer video.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't think there's no need for a hard fork with creating a pool.
No, there's not. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the community itself can. I guess anybody can. Like I said, once we make the video and I can train other people to do it, I'll have a video up on my channel that anybody can watch. Believe you me, I will do it as simply as possible. If it's more complicated through Shaun, like if people need more explanation, I have no problem with answering people's questions because, like I said, I've done this. A lot of my channel is dedicated to helping people understand crypto and understand different aspects of things that are relatively complicated. Like I said, I've taken some really complicated Linux concepts and broken them down to very, very, very basic, because I know not everyone has even my level of Linux comprehension. So it's like,
cool.
hey, I've been doing this for years, literally almost 20 years, where I've been teaching like computer classes to novices. I have no problem. I wouldn't say I have infinite patience, but I have a lot of it. So,
Yep.
yeah. At some point, we will definitely be able to dump more of this information not only into the Dynamo Discord server, but into C3 Media's Dynamo dedicated channels, so that people can get the help they need to learn that. I mean, even if they don't want to own their own pool, maybe they don't have the server capability to do that. They want to spin up a virtual machine or something, or don't even know how to spin up a virtual machine. But nevertheless, it isn't super complicated, and I'm very happy to help. So I don't know if the community has any more questions, but the only thing I think I was trying to mention earlier before we got to the questions, which is so grateful that we had all these great questions. Thanks, John, for scouring and pulling those out of the chat. But was just how do you feel? What's your feeling right now for the Dynamo server, Discord channel, and just the foundation in general? How do you feel that this is? Is this more than you were expecting, or is this exactly what you're expecting, or is it just? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, way more than I expected in terms of the mining engagement for sure. I thought that I was going to be the only person mining this for months, right? Like that was kind of part of, I wouldn't call it the business plan, but kind of part of the initial design was that the foundation would accumulate a few 100,000 coins to finance operations and have bounties and stuff like that. And of course, I only got to about maybe 25,000 or something like that before everybody came in. So the engagement from the mining community was really just overwhelming. I think the rest of it is super organic, and I love the fact that we have over 100 Discord members, and that we have frankly an active community. I do. I've been sort of I don't know, narcissistically following some of these other shit coins that I pick up every now and then off of crypto moonshots off of Reddit or something, and I'll go hop on their Telegram, and they have like 5,800 people in the Telegram, and they have about 10 posts a day. It's like the engagement is so low. There's a lot of engagement in our server after literally 4 or 5 weeks, right? So I think I'm very, very happy and encouraged by the amount of engagement that there is. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I think it's going really well. Yeah. And
honestly, not trying to call John out here at the same time, but honestly, I think a lot of the engagement has to do with Blockchain John here. I'm sure he's just like turning red, but it's pretty clear. I mean, he got in. He was the first real miner on doing solo mining. Then he kind of got the rest of us involved. The rest of the people who were relatively actively involved were previously relatively active, like myself, and pulled us in. And of course, I told a bunch of people like Daskuch, who's obviously, like I said, owning the pool right now. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I don't have a huge following. Obviously, not even 1,000 subs on my channel, but it is something I'm enthusiastic about. Like I said, my whole channel, almost my entire channel is dedicated to crypto. And when I see a good thing, it's kind of hard to pass it up, and it's kind of hard to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And I definitely see that with John's involvement in bringing the bots onto C3 Media. But just in general, when you see a good thing, it's hard not to talk about it. And
Mm.
I've been through enough bad examples. I'm not saying even the most popular ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum are necessarily bad examples. They were the
Right.
firsts.
Right.
So you're going to have failures, you're going to have issues, you're going to have troubles. And if you can't get past those, someone else is going to come and take your glory, which is exactly what Dynamo is going to do and is already sort of doing to Ravencoin. I hate to put Ravencoin down. I don't hate Ravencoin. It's got its purpose. But if they don't change with the times, they're going to get left in the dust.
Yeah. I really tried with that community. And I'm not putting anybody down as well. It just is what it is. It's just very centralized, and I was pretty vocal there, and I said, you guys have something, but you gotta start innovating, and they just didn't want to give up the keys. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't know. I think too, the other point I want to make is when I first went into this, I thought about, the technology's cool and there's lots of neat things you can do. But just like almost everything else in life, it's about the people, right? It's about the message and the tone and the tenor of what you're doing. And I tried, it wasn't just Raven, I tried hard to get into like 7 or 8 other projects. And just, a lot of toxicity all over the place. I was very disappointed. So when I came to this, I was like, you see it right on the front page of the website, crypto for people, right? This is for everybody. Everyone is welcome. Nobody's gonna shit post. Nobody's gonna, like say anything bad. Every idea is welcome, and anyone can contribute. Right? That was it. So I wanted to make this open and fun, like not like not this big social agenda or anything else. This is about making cool technology and having fun and meeting a lot of nice, intelligent people. I think that's the whole core of it. So it's really about the people more than anything else.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I was thinking that one of my favorite companies, which is now a long ways from where it started, I was a huge, and just still to some degree am a fan of
Mm.
Google, at least the
Mm.
ideals of Google.
Mm.
I was involved with it in the very early days, and I did work for them for a short time. And they're definitely not what they were. But the motto that Larry and Sergey originally came up with was the "Don't be evil" motto, which I thought would last indefinitely throughout the entirety of the company. If Google existed for 100 years, they'd still have that motto.
Yeah.
But they took it away in 2018, and at that point, I knew that somebody had gotten in there and
Mm-hmm.
changed the core of the company to say, well, we need to do evil sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sure no one actually vocally said that aloud, maybe in an
Right.
email somewhere, but
Right.
saying don't be evil is important. You
Yeah.
don't want to do the things that, you don't want it to get out of hand. You don't want it to eventually become Ethereum
Right.
or something else of that sort. And so I keep looking at this going, I'm sure someone will try to overturn this apple cart. Not
Mm-hmm.
right now. We're all too enthusiastic,
Yeah.
but we need to keep our wits about us so that we don't let it go there at some point in the future. And to say that up front, here at the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning of Dynamo, I think is important. I think I'd said this to the guys at C3 Media. I said, we need that motto to come back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and building that into the chain so that it can't happen, right? That
Yes.
that that voting of what you're going to do with the coin is up to the holders of the coins. You
Yep.
know, that's so important. So not having this central authority, not having the Ethereum Foundation, not having consensus, right? Like all these kind of guys that just hire a bunch of people and work on it, right? Having it be part of the community, being governed by the community is so important. We want to do it in a legal way, which there is a little bit of we got to figure out some sophisticated ways to do that. The attorneys brought up a couple issues about that too, but again, once I step back, which is hopefully, within the next 12 to 18 months or so, and this thing runs itself, then hopefully it's completely decentralized and nobody can put a finger on anybody. That's my hope. So.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
hope so. I just want to make a comment here. As we always do, John is encouraging people. First one to leave their Dynamo address on the YouTube channel. John will be giving mine to their address.
Yeah, first one. Come on, let's get it going. Dynamo, where are you guys at? Like Jake said,
easier to create.
Yeah. Like Jake said, leave your address in the YouTube channel. I'm watching it right now, live stream. If you leave it right now, I will copy and paste it and start mining in your wallet right now. Come on, this is free. I'm not getting anything. I'm doing this for you guys. It's for the community, right? That's what it's all about, for the community. So, Jake, back to you.
You're promoting the community. Thank you, John. So we're getting close to the end of this. It's been almost an hour, and we'll try to keep it under if all possible. I really appreciate having you talk again on the show here, Shaun. It's always great. You always have a really great engagement. You're fun to talk with, and you really know what you're talking about, which is amazing to hear somebody who knows so clearly what the concept, the idea, and then how to implement. And so I really appreciate that you were on again, and I'm looking forward to the next few shows we're going to be doing, because we get even more content and more content and more content, and hopefully I'm gonna. John knows me for this, because I always talk about my false step or my faux pas that I made back in November on this podcast. I said, Bitcoin will never go above 25,000. And what did it just do? Not a couple weeks later. Made me wear the egg on my face. I will make a prediction here now.
Oh no.
About Dynamo, because I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
You'll never need more than 640K of RAM, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say not about the price. I'm going to talk about the community. I'm going to say this community is going to breach 10,000 people, and I want to be proved wrong when it reaches 50,000. So, so everybody, go get your friends, bring them into Dynamo. All those people who are in chat right now, go get more people and get more people involved in Dynamo, so that we can expand this community and start rivaling Ravencoin, not just being better than it. So we can continue this amazing Dynamo. Great word, right? Right, Shaun? This dynamic Dynamo experience. So I want to thank you for being on the show again, and thanks to everyone that's been in the chat. And John, did somebody drop it? I'm not looking at the live stream.
No, nothing yet, man. Nothing yet. I mean, come on. I'm waiting for you guys. I'm waiting for you guys to drop you guys' address. This is not getting easier. We're now at 17.6 mega hashes. All right, we're no longer in the kilo hashes. We're in the mega hashes. Soon to be up in the giga hashes. We're 210,500 blocks in, and it's only been a little over a month. 1 month and 15 days. This is insane. Leave your Dynamo address.
Free Dynamo. Okay, well, assuming someone does that, and I hope they do. Thank you all for coming in and asking your questions. Thank you, Shaun, for being here.
Thank you.
As John always says,